best for near real-time
You
interaction.
are going to the microphone.
Playback
You
buffering. So
what's going on?
low latency is pretty good for having more interaction with your chat room. Otherwise, maybe a bit more delayed in the normal latency setting. And ultra low, this is really as you can get with chat interaction.
Fantastic. I have no clue where this audio is coming from, so let's check it out. At least see if it sounds decent enough to do anything with.
Event, make sure I'm private, double check that, and click start broadcast. Give it a few seconds to boot up. This is streaming live, YouTube Live, Secret Magicians Club. There's test, viewers 0, there's a bit rate.
Test.
Go to Google now, into our YouTube channel. Click on YouTube Studio,
Test.
videos. Click on the live tab. And you can see here, live now. Visibility is private. Date May 6th, that's today. You can click on here to view.
It's gonna keep doing test through the fucking speakers. Watch. Alright, microphone.
Now, normally through XSplit Broadcaster, once you initiate the stream, go live through XSplit Broadcaster, you still have to go into YouTube, your Creator Studio, into the live feed here like this, and then you would see your stream
fucking tastic, amazing, absolutely amazing.
Live.
Anyways. Like I said, you're gonna have to forgive me because I don't know which is which right now.
But here is the live stream.
But as you guys can see, I'm back, baby. It's been a long time. Let's see here. Try to.
But that's because it's just live stream.
Been a long time, obviously, since our
volume levels, if you like. You can see
since our streams. So what happened was I lost my graphics card in a very terrible way. And who is fucking talking in the background? Who are you? Oh, it's the guy that was helping me get my stream set up. So probably shouldn't be too mean. Look at that. And let's go ahead and get this set up. I have to try to remember exactly how loud I can have this. Because if I remember last time, I still hear sounds. I don't know if I'm just going crazy. You know what? It's probably the Twitch channel. Or it's my birds in the other room. Probably my birds in the other room. Anyways. Let's go ahead and you know what? I'm gonna have to wear probably headphones so that I can. I really didn't want to wear headphones. Forget about it. Huh? Well, that just made my whole day a lot shittier. Oh, glad to see the Yeti microphone is now working. All right. So what are we doing? A little bit of a different stream. We're going to do one of these streams probably once a week. I like to do it on Wednesdays. Yeah, I just like to do it on Wednesdays. So, what is it? Some of you guys might be reading the title like, Glitchy, what in the piss are you doing these days, right? What in the piss are you doing? So, since my computer's been down, I've had a all brand new... Well, okay, let's get rid of you, fella. A all brand new, Why does it do that? That is so weird to me. I don't understand why it does that. What's this program called? Microsoft something. I don't know. I don't really fucking understand this thing. Let's see here. All apps. Outlook. No, Microsoft Office. That's what I wanted. Not Outlook. Oh, God. They always ask me for this shit when at work, and it drives me insane. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm getting over a nasty cold right now. Why is it? Sorry. I know I shouldn't be too upset. It's the first time streaming in God knows how long. If you are emailing, messaging me, please give me 1 minute, because I don't. Fucking hey. All right, give me another minute. We are gonna just do this for a quick second. There we go. We'll put you on that for a moment, okay? Let's see here. Probably gonna have to go to the fucking Microsoft store and download Word. Oh, look at that. There it is. Can you just give me what the fuck I'm looking for? That'd be fantastic. Sorry again. Give me 1 minute. We're doing it. We're working on it. I'd really prefer not to have to rebuy, download, whatever, rebuy fucking Word. That'd be absolutely fantastic if I didn't have to do that. What happened to things being so easy? You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have to do this shit back in the day. See, so what it does is it pulls up an internet tab. And I don't want an internet tab. That looks... whatever. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. That's fine. Okay. All right. No bad moods. Right, guys? No bad moods. Okay. So, let's go to... like I said, it's been a while since I've done this. So please, my liege, cut me some slacketh, or get whacketh. Some food. So yeah, obviously I got a new graphics card. Fantastic. Hence why I'm able to stream. Incredibly grateful for the graphics card. Oh, shit. Oh, that sound was. Sides. Hell yeah, brother. Alright, sorry about that. I had to order some food. I'm freaking hungry as hell right now. Alright, so, Glitchy, what is it that you do these days? Well, let me tell you, since the computer's gone down, I have had absolutely jack shit nothing to do. Nothing. My life has been completely turned upside down by not having a computer because I depended way too much on a computer. PlayStation games just don't do it for me anymore. Console gaming. I do have fun. Actually, I take that back. So I've recently gotten into the RPG element of video games. Now, have I always been kind of into it? Yeah. Have I understood it? No. It's like Fallout, you know? Fallout. Games like Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Those games were fun to me. However, it wasn't so much of the RPG element of it. It was the storyline, the open world. You know, it was rare back in those days to have a good game with that amount of space, right? Same thing with The Division. You know, great game, I'm not gonna say great story. Good gameplay. However, never really saw the RPG element of those things. Saw the open world, do what you want, have fun doing what you want, and that's where we're at. So I figured out the RPG element to these video games, and I just got done playing Final Fantasy Rebirth. What a game. Did not realize that was the second game. I have never played a Final Fantasy game in my entire life. Never played it. And don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just quickly changing the tabs on my Twitch channel, because I'm sure it's got me like in some ridiculous ass game. Fantastic. Awesome. Log in. Give me 1 second, guys, because I can't chew and walk at the same time. Okay, this is not freaking fantastic here. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Yeah, see, that's got me in the order. Just chatting. Get rid of these. D&D. Tag, critical role, why not? D20. I don't know if that's even a channel, but we're gonna add it. Nerd. Wild mount. Tal Dory. Nope, that's for some reason that's one. That's crazy to me. Okay. No, I guess I'm done with the tags. Okay. Shit. Sorry. I forgot how much stuff I did before I used to stream to now, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So, anyways. So what have I been doing to fill my time when I haven't been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Which, by the way, amazing game. For you guys on PlayStation, Final Fantasy VII, the first part of the game, is actually free if you are a one of them PlayStation Plus subscribers, whatever the hell it is. So you can play that one for free. They have a PS5 updated version, which really kind of compares really well with the graphics. The fluidity of the game, a little bit different than Rebirth, but it's still a great time. I wish I would have played that one first before I went to Rebirth, but I didn't know. Anyways, doesn't spankin' matter, right, guys? Doesn't spankin' matter. Because what are we doing today? Well, we are going to nerd out a little bit. You see, even though I have a new graphics card, there's very few games I can play with that graphics card because my heating element sucks, right? So I know we've talked before in the past where I have told you guys that I have had 12 fans. Well, okay, relax there, Glitchy. Don't need that many fucking fans. You're right. So with the new graphics card, I only had 11. That's fucking ridiculous. Am I right? So, turns out I had a water cooler installed the entire time. Had no fucking clue. But there's nothing in it. There's no liquid to cool it. So I'm still running a lot of fans. I took out 3 fans to try to quiet it down. So we're at 9 fans right now. 8 fans right now. But I am going to be working to get that solved. And then once I get that solved, I will have no fans. It'll be quiet when we play. And all you'll hear is this annoying little... Right? Because I know how much everybody loves that ticking sound. It's the best. And if you ain't mechanical, then you ain't shit. Sorry. Anyways, so we're gonna nerd out today. We're gonna nerd out. Again, people who might be jumping in, thinking to themselves like, "Why am I looking at a blank Microsoft Word document?" Well, I'm gonna show you. Okay. So on my off time, I play D&D on Friday nights. So just so you know, there will be no streaming on Friday nights, unless there's not a group game session. You know, whether it's somebody can't make it, I can't make it, and I'm the dungeon master. Anyways, so me being the DM, there's gonna be times where I can't make it in, whatever. You know, some key elements might not happen. So those would be the nights that I do stream on Fridays, because I will normally stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if there's no game. So, what? You're not finishing up, Glitchy. You're beating around the fucking bush. All right, so me being a DM, I have to create a story. So I created a story to begin with, and it didn't exactly go well. I have 2 very experienced players. However, they're not experienced with 5e D&D, which is completely different than what they're used to. They're used to, I guess they haven't played D&D since the 3rd gen, so they are lost a little bit. They think they know what they're doing, and then they come in and they're like, you're like, well, nah, see, I just read the player's handbook and that's not what it says, right? And they're like, well, no, you're wrong. And then they want to go sit down and they want to go through it all, and either way, it doesn't work out normally in their favor. So it's basically a huge learning curve for all of us. And while I'm sitting here talking about this, I need to buy a new DM's guide. DM guide 5e, homie. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'll just use 5e. God, I'm losing track, losing focus. Okay, so. But, yeah, so a part of my job is to make a story. It didn't go well to begin with. because I watch Critical Role. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. It's about a bunch of nerdy ass voice actors who sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. Any Hoosers. It's my dog. I was like, who that? That is actually exactly how they open up their show. They go, "What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Critical Role. We're a bunch of us nerdy ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons." Great group of people. I did not think I would ever find myself in this genre. However, I enjoy listening to them. Their story, the flow of their game, the way that they talk to each other. I loved it, right? And I wanted to recreate that. Which was my down fucking fall right there. I wanted to recreate it. I like doing voices. I love doing voices. It's something that I'm very passionate about doing. It's one of those things that I would love to move on and start doing voice acting. Shit, honestly, I have a really good job right now, really good benefits. I get paid very well. And I would give that up in a heartbeat. To do voice acting for a living. I love to take on characters' personas. I love to give them a voice, if that makes any sense, you know. I'm also the kind of guy that feels bad for NPCs, so like I don't ever really kill NPCs because I feel bad, right? Every character's got a voice, you know. Just what are they saying? Anyways, my group are not voice actors remotely. My group, besides two people, are not used to this styled game where it's all pretty much, right? Pretty much make-believe. So when I start writing my story and I'm sitting down and I'm working on it, I mean, I was putting in time and effort, thinking that they would understand that I'm trying to lead them to a certain point. They would be like, "Oh, he wants us to go there." Anyways, right? And it was frustrating. It was frustrating the shit out of me because I'd sit there and I'd work for a storyline for a week. For them to throw out my storyline within 5 minutes of sitting down and playing the game. So, of course, when they did that, I was just like, fuck, here we go. Let me open up my books because I'm going to have to make shit up on the Superfly. So imagine sitting there and you're like, cool, right? And this is my story right now, right? We're going to be retyping this up. That way I can continue on from it. I could actually, you know what? We'll be all right. I'll read it to you guys here in a bit. But this is my story, right? Doesn't look like much, but it is. And they go, wow, Brown, Scott, glitchy. This is really nice. And you're like, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. You know, I worked really hard on it. And they go, yeah, we're not going to do this. But what do you mean you're not going to do this? Nah. Do you realize that I worked so long on that for you to just piss it down the drain? We're not going to do this. Very well. Okay. All right. So what are you going to do? We're going to go beat up a chicken farmer. And I really want to shit in the king's throne. Right. So there is no king of the city. Right. So I'm going to... Is there cops? Well, there's not cops. There's guards. I'm going to blow them up. Okay. So you thought this was GTA. Fantastic. Love it. Anyways, so what are we doing today? Again, you guys are probably like, get to the fucking point. We are going to be working on a fucking story. Yes, we are. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move this on over and drop it low, girl. Right? Gonna drop it low, girl. Okay. We are gonna do some zooming in here. Let's go ahead and Where's the Zoom key? Used to be able to do it. Why is it not working? Okay. That's good enough. You should be able to see. Which, if you guys didn't know, this is my mouse pad, my beautiful mouse pad. I hope to one day make mouse pads if my channel blows up. This is by The Boys. Great channel on the YouTubes. Go ahead and check them out. And this is where our story takes place. And I'm going to turn it this way for you for right now, just for a quick little minute here. Okay. This is the Wild Mount. Give me 1 second here. Just 1 more second. 1 more second. Fudge. So I can zoom in here and show you guys what's what. Actually, I can just do this. Bing bong. This is the Wild Mount. The Wild Mount is a... Hey, what's happening? Can't help you there. Junk! What up, Junk? Long time no see. So this is the... I'm sorry, I didn't see you messaging. I just literally moved out of the way where I can see that. So this is where our campaign is taking place. Now, before it took place on the continent, it's my fault, on the continent of Tal'Dorei. Now, these are all continents and storylines from the Critical Role campaign. So they do not follow the traditional D&D world. So what has happened with my storyline is that, I was railroaded and replaced, but I'm coming back to it now. Oh, hang on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. My food got here. Because I know you haven't checked out my plugin, youtube.watch. Anybody who's watching, go ahead and check out his plugin for his... I didn't forget. I just haven't been able to get my my Steam Deck up and running. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't want to talk about it because it hurts my feelings. But if you have a Steam Deck, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and check out his channel right there that's been linked. If you want to put that... shoot, what are you on right now? You're over on Twitch, correct? I'm guessing you're watching on Twitch. It's normally where I see you at. It's not excuses. All right. I'll tell you what. Give me 1 second here. All right. I copied the text, so I'll make sure that gets put in the description over on the YouTube live stream portion of it. So, for those who may be familiar with the Critical Role series over on Amazon Prime, Vox Machina, great show. Suggest everybody check it out. Funny as hell. They haven't really gotten to the part yet. However, Vecna, the Lich Lord, will be coming into that show sometime soon. So this is basically going to rewrite the events of the Vox Machina series, as if they did not deal with that bad guy at that time, and he's trying to come about a different way. So, what happened? So all of our characters awakened awakened on the continent of Taldore, in their dreamlike state. In their dream state, they were told that they had to go to this place and that there was a challenge in which would be discussed at the end of the which would be discussed at the end of that dream slash dungeon challenge, whatever you would like to call it. So the adventurers, who, again, my group has never played this game before. It was basically kind of just a tutorial, if you will, in a video game. Anyways, they complete it with ease for the most part. And they're told, hey, you guys need to go to this town, meet up with each other, and then I'm going to send somebody to come talk to you. So they wake up, they head to the town. Everybody gets there, they're drinking at the bar, whatever, where they meet this small halfling named Yalton Smallstone. So Yalton is a scholar at the Cobalt Suppository, which is basically like this giant library / college. A lot of science and a lot of reading. So he noticed something in the sky, and he thought it was awkward. He thought it was weird. It was a green comet passing by. So the next morning, he went to look about this green comet because, again, it's never been talked about. Nobody's ever seen one. And he finds a book in the denied section that basically tells them that, it's a legend that Vecna will return, and the way he summons his followers to begin the preparations is by a green comet. So they tell the group this, right? The group's like, all right, cool. They were, for a minute, they were doing their own shit, and it was super irritating because I couldn't get one of the guys back in the group. He was so hard-headed. He's like, I'm a solo player, and that's my character, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. So he wanted nothing to do with this, right? I had 4 people that were about it, 1 that wasn't. So, and it wasn't like, at the end of the day, he wasn't like, all right, I hate you guys, I'm going home. He was like, wow, that was a good game, and it was like, no, it wasn't, because I had to make shit up. So, anyways, they leave. Stumbled across a man who was attacked by some kind of beast at night. They went, explored the house that he was attacked at. He claimed he was a farmer, but there was no farm equipment. They found a ledger, which kind of led them to believe that he was taking creatures and selling them on the black market. All the rooms of the house were like basically like turned into like hatchling stables. Bare minimum supplies in the room. So yeah, I thought they were gonna go with that, right? And I ended it with like a little, what do you call it? What are those things called? Cliffhanger. I ended it with the cliffhanger where, and I had it prepped. It actually was really cool. So Bluetooth, the sound of an owlbear yelling. And I was like, you hear branches snap. in a panic, right? So one of them walks over there. He's like, I walk around. Do I see anything? He's like, you see paw prints, deep incisions from claws being pierced into the ground, but very big prints. And in one of the paw prints, you see a feather. And then I played an owlbear yelling on the Bluetooth, and they were like, "Oh, that's so cool." Well, then the next time we had a game, they were like, "Oh, fuck the owlbear. I really don't care." Man, what the fuck? I worked on this whole entire plot twist. Anyways, I was struggling. And I was struggling hard for a first time DM. So the most senior guy who's played the game the longest, he kind of steps in and goes, "Hey kid, watch me, okay? Do you have a character?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a character." Because originally I wasn't supposed to DM. So I had a character. He's like, "All right, I want you to go ahead and play him." And I want you to watch what I do. All right. So I'm watching what he does. And again, I realized that this group wasn't about the progression of characters, which is okay. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not that they were against character progression. It's that they just, I feel, they thought something different. They thought that Dungeons and Dragons was going to be, you go to the king says go to this dungeon, you fight the dungeon, you come out with gold, and that is it. Obviously, that may have been how it started, but that's not where it's at today, as you can tell, right? So now we're coming to an end of that I guess side quest is what you could call it. With the side quest coming to an end, that puts me back in charge. Now, I've been watching a lot, listening a lot, reading a lot. Junk, been talking to Junk about it as well. So I feel that I'm ready to take it back on. Now it just comes the story part, right? Now the building aspect. This is what I enjoy to do the most. So what I do is I write basically I write how the session should go. And it's very sloppy, it's very loose, if you will. And then what I do is I come back through and I tighten it up, right? Tighten it up, fix little things. And then after I'm done tightening it up, what I then do is I sit down, I go, okay, who did they run into? Okay. So, for example, I'm going to read you what I got so far. Ready, you're not. God, I need to change this damn text. Ready. If you feel you're ready, you're not. Just wait till the players get a hold of you. How do I say this nicely? Fuck the players. Ooh. Ooh. Just kidding. Don't fuck the players. However, this dungeon that they've been playing has been very fast paced. Go here, go here, go here, go here. Room, 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 room. Right? That I feel like they kind of want to, because they're not even talking anymore. Like we're not talking. It's like, okay, I go to the door, I check it for traps. Any traps? Roll perception. Yeah. You go in the room, and then this is a prefabbed thing that they're doing. What kind of game are you running? I'm running a sick ass game, homie. You know what? That's why I can't read any of your text. There we go. Homebrew, of course. Anyways, so we're getting close to the end of this thing, and there's just been no real progression for characters. We got into a fight mode. but you can tell that the fighting is starting to really run down in their heads. The recklessness is starting to shine through. So they could use a little bit of my type of gameplay. My kind of, all right, well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You have a 6-day travel over across the fucking sea. Let's start rolling. What kind of game are you running? Just make espresso. I've got hints for you a little bit. You know, Junk, I'm going to have to, message you my Discord, dude, because we talk way too much. We talk way too much, my guy. So I'll do that towards a bit later. Excuse me. I'm coming off of a cold right now. So, with that all being said and done, right? This is where we take back up. Towards the end of, this is one of the characters' names, Grumps, right? He's the senior guy that's currently playing his character, but not really playing his character and letting me put. It's confusing. Anyways, Grumps. At the end of Grumps' dungeon, a book is found called The Tales of the Whispered One. The book explains the lore of Vecna the Whispered. Let's see, where's that page at? There we go. I'll read that here in a minute. Okay, yeah, I'll read that here in a second. At night's end, as the players rest, one player will have a dream from the spirit from the light, or from the first night, telling them they need to head east to the Wild Mount. And there in the city of Port Damali, there will be a messenger that he must meet with, and that not to look too hard, but that the messenger will find them. The group will be moved back to the city of Whiterun. That's the city that they first started in. To get their affairs in order before taking to the sky ship to the port of Damali. The following day, they will have the opportunity to take a new sky ship to the Wild Mount, cost-free, courtesy of the Thieves Guild. That's who my character's working with right now, is the Thieves Guild. The trip will be about 5 days' time. Fair winds may make the trip faster. If they roll and may take longer. If they have a bad roll, 5 or lower, the players roll it takes longer if they roll a 5 or lower on a, what did I put it at, like a 12 or something like that? I don't remember. D10. If the players roll a 2 or lower, they will encounter a storm that will and can have the chance of causing damage to their HP. Sven will be amongst them and will be the one to make the travel arrangements, and he will be going to the Wild Mount to help open the local Thief Guild into the city. Let's see here. I could actually pull up something here too. So there's for you guys who do Dungeons and Dragons, and you for you people that use Dungeons and Dragons and you draw, but you're talking and thinking about moving up to that next level, I really think you should. I'm currently working with a friend of mine right now to get, we're building a table. The table is going to be approximately somewhere between 4 feet. No, not 4 feet. What the hell am I thinking? Anywhere between 6 feet to about 8 feet long. It's got to accompany, or it's got to hold all of those, all of my guys. Sorry, I got to log in real quick. There we go. Perfect. It's got to accompany all my guys, the 5 players, plus the DM section, that kind of thing. So the other thing we're doing is in the middle of the TV, or the middle of the table, we're going to add a 36-inch smart TV that I'm going to screencast my maps onto. So what we got here, I'll just go ahead and pull that up real quick. This is the website Incarnate. It helps build all the maps. As you can see, like, you could tell where I sat down and I really learned how to do certain things, right? That's just a standard bar, which I'll go to here in a minute. This was my first ever map I created, and I did not know how to use the system even remotely. Use Fantasy Grounds. Let me write that down. Oh, marine photo. Fantasy Grounds. I'll look at it. Definitely take a look at it. So this was my first map, and originally the way the story was going to set off is that they were going to go here, and they were going to look around, and basically they got in trouble one night. I had this whole setup where they were going to bump into each other and basically get arrested on some bullshit, and they're going to be given a deal by the city judge to go down and slay out rats in the sewer. Right? Like all good stories, it always starts with slaying out rats. Again, I didn't know how to build this at all. I had no clue what the foreground was. I had no clue what the backdrop was. None of it. So I just kind of created this on the fly, and I again no clue how to do it. So like, I mean, I put a chest, like a dead body, a little hut, another dead body, and this was going to be a were rat down here that they were going to fight, like a boss. You know, I had a couple little things in here, a couple things over there, right? Not all that impressive, right? Then I recently was like, all right, let's build Port Damali. The next Port Damali I show you is going to take a lot of effort. Now, it was already a pre-built that I added a lot into. So this one was the original city I built for Port Damali. Council Chambers, Garden of Hope, and, you know, just threw a bunch of characters in, guards, crates, houses, all that. Tried to make streets. They didn't work out too well. So I looked at a prefab. This is Port Damali version 2. And this is going to take a little bit to load. So actually, I don't know. It took a lot of time. It took me roughly about 8 hours to make the adjustments I needed to adjust to. Obviously, there's 831 different types of images on this, and you'll see it here in a second. It took me a long time to get through this, but after using the prefab, I sharpened up the water. I added some more buildings, took out some buildings, added churches, that kind of thing. So this is the new Port Damali. Granted, it doesn't look like the city of Port Damali by the book. Port Damali has one of the biggest populations, there on the in the Wild Mount. As you guys see right here, let's see, the Menagerie Coast. This is where the big cities are, right? Port Damali is going to be right. Let's see here. I'm trying to read this map backwards for you guys. Right there, right? So it's just that little sliver. Screen share. Is it not? Damn, fool. I've been sitting here. You're right. I messed up. Give me 1 second to add that. That's trash. Actually, you know what it is I did that. Okay. There we go. And we're going to change this text color because I can't read it. There we go. That's more better. Sorry, guys. Okay. So this is the Temple Ward. We'll go ahead and just move that right there. I forgot I blew it up so that you guys could see the map. So this is the port of Damali, and then I'll show you the old one that I started with to begin with. So as you can see, some things I changed around. Not a whole lot was changed. Like I said, I redid the water. Primarily, like, made certain areas look deeper than others. Built a channel. Did I need to build a channel? No, but I built one anyways. That was actually the first thing I did. This was a gladiator ring, and I tried to find something that was more circumferenced around the idea of a skyship port. And this is what I had. This was the only thing I could really add to it that would change that. So we have that. And that's going to be our gladiator ring. Added some different types of temples in here. I wanted to make a temple ward. I do have a paladin with me, so I wanted to make sure he had a holy place that he could go and talk to his crew called the Platinum Dragons. Hold on. I think I got to let my dog out. Give me 1 minute, guys. All right, I'm back. He was just being a big old crybaby. He wanted some attention. Anyways, back to where we were. So yeah, I wanted to build a little temple district for him to kind of go explore, talk, that kind of deal. We got some skyships there that are ported into the town. This is going to be where he goes to, though. I never saw that when I was building it, and I think that's a better one for his guild that he goes with. I also added a market district. This is going to be the Marquet district. Again, a lot of ships, that kind of thing. The arena. And then we have this little group, which is going to come into the story pretty good. This is the Cerberus Assembly. So the Wild Mount is exactly like how you would, how it's pictured, right? The Wild Mount is wild. It's basically cities amongst the coast. You have the Dwendalian Empire up here. This is kind of just the roughneck area of the map, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Mountain ranges pretty much separate the entire areas of this map. And then we have this area up here, which will probably come into the game at some point. What you're looking at right here, this little outline. This little outline right here. This is the continent of Tal'Dorei. And the Wild Mount, or Whiterun, would be somewhere over just about here, literally on the corner of the map. So they're going to have to travel over across the seas, all that kind of stuff, and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and put you back like that. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on in the city. What kind of inspired me for the city was the Book of Korra. Not sure if you guys know that, but basically I know that there's going to be factions. Again, that is going to be a major faction in this whole ordeal. But yeah, that's what we got going on for right now, right? So Port Tamale. Now, to show you the absolute dog piss of an original Port Tamale that I made. By the way, this right here is what Port Tamale is supposed to look like. That is by the book. That is how they imagined it. However, I'm going to make Port Tamale kind of the jewel of the coast in my map. That's why I made it so much bigger and all that. So this was the original Port Tamale that I built. As you could tell, absolutely dog water of a map. Tried a bunch of different things, and this was, again, my starting phase. Then I went here. This is going to be a mountain range that they go through. I know, it's bad. This is kind of like going to be that background art that I can put down so that they kind of can imagine leaving the city of Port Tamale, and that's going to be the mountain range that they're going to have to go to, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. This is the skyship that they're taking. Again, these were all that wasn't a pre-built, but it was before I knew what I was doing. So this is going to be the skyship that they're going to take over across the seas. I didn't put masts up or anything. That way we have this entire board. And again, this is more of just an aesthetic thing that's going to be on the background. They could put their players there, whatever. That way they feel a little bit more engaged than just sitting there listening to me talk. They can, they have a picture of a boat. I know it sounds dumb, but you'd be surprised. You'd very much so be surprised. So we have the Hearthstar Mountains. This is going to be another location we talk about. Nothing surprises me anymore. That's all right, dude. I could tell you guys what's going on because the other guys, I pretty much told them, you are not allowed to watch my streams. Now, do I think they're going to? Occasionally. But if I tell them, hey, I'm working on this story, I'm going to be putting it up on the interwebs, don't be looking. So this is how I figured out how to do certain aspects of this, right? So go to top, erase. We're going to erase this real quick. So the way it would work, right, is basically the screen's black and I'm only going to give them a portion of the map, right? I'll give them this. As they move along, I can give them this as well because that's going to kind of encompass the edge of the map so that they have kind of an area that they know. All right, well, if we go that far, it doesn't matter, right? So we have this little area here. And this little area is going to remain blacked out because they're going to have to roll for perception to figure that cave out. And I'm going to make them roll. And there's a chance that they're going to fight a Yeti or Abominable. Excuse me again. Or they're going to be fighting skeletons coming out of the cave. Again, that just kind of gives it that I'll be able to zoom in a little bit more. I can readjust the grid square so that it's not so shitty. Go here, knock the columns down. I could probably do that now, actually. There we go. That works. So now they have these grid squares a little bit more figured out, a little bit more robust. As you can tell, because of the grid squares, it's obviously a smaller little portion of the map. Again, it's what we're going for. So we're going to go that and put you back on and scribble you. Right? And just like that, we are done. So we go here, save that. Because I did make an adjustment to the grid squares. I don't want to lose that. Let's go. Come on. There we go. Then we got the bar, just a standard bar. Before they climb up the mountain, they have the option to take a rest, which I'm going to encourage that they do because they will already be well rested up. However, this kind of gives me a little bit more play. Gives them a little bit more play, I should say. So this is the trail to the Hearthstar Peak, right? So they're going to have this little area right here. Okay. Now, this little game trail is an alternate entrance into the cave. And in that, there will be, let's see here, mountain base. They have an option to begin up the mountain, or they have the choice to take the game trail perception check for a notch in the tree with a form of elf writing that says, climb to the top of the peaks to hear the words of the whispered by one of the gods. And then I try to figure out the elf language, so excuse me if I slay this. Climb Lornetel, Sel, Ath, Tel Peaks, Lane, Hinish, words whispered, Ath Faith, Ath Tel Gods. Basically, if they don't, I'm just going to tell them that, and they're going to be like, what the fuck does that mean? One of the guys does have a comprehend language, so I'll basically tell him, what it means. And yeah, so they are going to encounter while sleeping. And I made everybody a certain bed, right? So we have our, for this guy, it's going to be our, our dwarf cleric. Our paladin. Let's see here. That is going to be the wizard, the sorcerer, tiefling sorcerer, dwarf wizard. Why am I missing one right now? Oh, and that's going to be for our monk dragonborn. Anyways, that is what we are looking at for here. So during this, during the night stay, which like I said, I'm going to encourage them that they do stay the night. During somebody's shift, they are going to encounter a wolf. They don't have to fight the wolf. They're going to roll a 1d4. Low, meaning they're going to have to fight the wolf. 3 to 4 is going to be that the wolf jumps over them and runs off into the forest. However, the unavoidable that will happen is that a werewolf is going to come down. Excuse me, God. Like I said, I'm getting over this cold. Now, our paladin's flawed trait, his character personality, it's no matter how much you make up a character, there's always going to be that trait that is inside of your character that shows that, what's the word I'm looking for? That shows that not weakness, but that inability to just get rid of, you know what I mean? So for our paladin, he loves, and it's just how he is in real life too. He can't stand people being mad at him. He has to get along with everybody. And he's kind of a knucklehead. You know, he's a little knuckleheaded youngster. Now, again, that's how his character is also portrayed. He doesn't like upsetting the group. And he does not like upsetting me, the DM, as I think everybody should not like upsetting that person. But the one thing he holds more pride than anything is that his guild, he has to have the approval of his guild for everything that he does. So how do you fuck up a paladin? Well, the werewolf is going to make a bite at him. Even if it doesn't cause HP damage, and let's say it just barely pierces his skin, he's going to get lycanthropy. He's going to have those urges until the next full moon. Basically, this is going to be the end phase of the full moon. And then on his full moon, he's going to have the full transformation and be able to control his lycanthropy. I.e., I don't know, again, if you guys are familiar with Critical Role, but there's a guy named Chetney Pakapi, one of the characters in the Mighty Nine series. It's still currently going on, Campaign 3. Go ahead and check it out. But he has been cursed with lycanthropy. He can control it, except for certain types of the year where he can't control it, and he just goes batshit crazy. Anyways, so he has the chance and the ability to let the group know, like, hey, this is what's going on. I need this to be cured, right? Or does he submit to the power and basically get lycanthropy as a, I guess, supernatural gift in a way, because that's what he's going to be able to do it with. But that's what I got going on for him. So once the werewolf's dead, you know, there's not going to be on there. There's going to be a collar on the werewolf's neck. That's about it. Basically, it's going to be a mind-altering one that can be controlled by somebody. It's going to be arcane magic. Arcana. Now, in this world, I had to get into it a little bit with one of my guys because he was like, well, I can understand Arcana. I said, no, you can't. You can't do that. Well, why can't I? Because you just can't. You can't understand it. It is what it is. He was upset, understandably, by that. So we've been going back and forth about, you know, well, I can't understand Arcana. You can't, because it's old magic, something predestined by the gods. That knowledge is gone. However, that knowledge does exist in weapons and tools that were given to the mortals to help defend the realm against the consumer gods and the betrayer gods. And we're going to talk about betrayer gods here in just a quick minute. So let's see what else we got here. We got my little Wild Mount map in case I need to pull it up ever. Hearthstar Mountain, the cave. So what's cool about this program is that it helps me get set up the helps set me up for the where the battles are going to take place at, right? So they're going to have access at the beginning to this small portion. Basically, their cave, the cave entrance is going to go down to here, and they're going to have the option to go wherever they want, right? And as the characters move, I'll be able to move them around. Oh, boom, look at that, skeletons. So that's there to help me realize, okay, I plan skeletons to be right there, right? So they defeat the skeletons, get some gold, crude swords, that kind of thing. They make their way around here, and they're like, all right, let's go up here. Boom, there's another one. Hit, right? And let's see here. Boom, because that one's close by, it also reveals itself. I got some little nooks and crannies here, right? So we got another 2 skeletons, some dead bodies, some gold. Got some water, another dead body, another chest, some dead skeletons, some dead bodies again, right? This is part of the story right here, right? So we got another dead body, another skeleton, that kind of shit. These are going to basically be like, what are they doing? Well, basically, Vecna is the Lich Lord, obsessed with death, and recreation of dead bodies. And this is where the real focus of this storyline is going to go right here. Let's go. Load up. Let's see. So this is going to be that room that you saw in the upper right-hand corner. This is going to be like basically mage's quarters. Within here, they're going to run into somebody right about there, right? They're going to run into somebody. He's basically going to explain the whole ziggurat system, that they're activating stuff, and that I can tell you this because it's not going to matter because you're going to die anyways, right? And then he's going to teleport his ass out here on this obelisk. They don't have really too much of an option on that. But before he leaves, he's going to activate this guy. Do. And what is this guy? He's a flesh golem. So they're going to fight in here for the flesh golem. They're going to, after they've done defeating him, they're going to go around. They're going to look around, see what they got. We're going to have probably some form of a staff in here. Potions here. Potions there. Books, spell books, scrolls, that kind of thing. A little bit of gold. And they're basically gonna leave. And that's where my first session really kind of ends, is right then and there. And I say it's my first session, however, I don't see them really getting through this in a timely manner. Not that it's impossible, but they're gonna have to just the fact that there is going to be some dialogue play here and there. So, like, for instance, once they get the book, right, I know exactly who's going to grab this book. It's going to be a character who's all about learning knowledge, which actually helps me out a lot because that opens up a whole nother avenue when developing his character, as far as he could possibly be the hero of the group, because he enjoys taking knowledge. And I'll say right now why. So that book that he's going to have, it's going to say, the Lich Lord Vector presides over villainous mages, conspiring politicians, and envious servants of the god of necromancy, undeath, and secrets. Once a dangerously clever and powerful archmage turned lich, his hunger for domination over all mysteries and obsessions were conquering the Pantheon led to his own dissolution, leaving behind only his left eye and hand. His enduring spirit reformed through the ages and mangled to reconstruct the Raven Queen's rights to ascension to become the new god, to become the newest god in the walk Exandria. One of Vecna's main laboratories on Exandria was in first glade of Wildmount, where he performed countless experiments that left the forest corrupt and haunted by the abominations of his creation. Vecna also rumored to have had a vault filled with magical items of fell power in Old Haxon, the ruins in which New Haxon was built. So, we're going to go to the map real quick. Okay? So, they're starting here in Port de Male, right? They have to get, in order to go to the Versglade, they're going to have to travel down the coast, up and around. And as you can see, we have the Ashkeeper Peaks. Within the Ashkeeper Peaks, right here, right? That is Versglade. Surrounded by a small mountain range compared to all these. It's basically going to be a ravine. Within that ravine, it's going to be fog. The trees are dead. It's marshy, swampy, and they're going to go in there. And again, that's something I have to work on is where the laboratory is. It's going to be probably in a shambled, ruptured castle-like fortress. Because the timeline here is about 800 years. None of these guys really should know what the hell is going on. Even our oldest person that we have is only like, I think 120 years old, 130 years old, something like that. So yeah, they should have no clue anything about this. Now, the other place, Old Haxon, or I'm sorry, New Haxon, is right here on the Blythe coast, on the Blight Shore. Why is it called the Blight Shore? Well, let me tell you why. Right, everybody knows that Blight kind of tends to talk about reanimation. So we go to our book here. Let's see here. Where we at? Adventures in the Wildmount subclasses. By the way, there are different subclasses in this this book that I'm going off of. So this is a supernatural gift, right? And it's this fella right here. So the dungeon master has the option to allow a character created in the Wildmount campaign to be a hollow one. Alternatively, a character who perishes in the course of the campaign might return as a hollow one created by the mysterious forces that scar the land. As a hollowed one, the void left behind by your departed soul is filled with the strange magic of the Blight Shore. Becoming a hollow one is a supernatural gift. See supernatural gifts in Chapter 7 of the Dungeon Master Guide that bestows upon you the following traits. Ageless. You don't age. The effects that would cause you to age don't work on you. Cling to life. When you make a death saving throw and roll a 16 or higher, you regain 1 hit point. Revenants. You retain your creature type, yet you register as undead to spells and other effects that detect the presence of undead creatures and types. Unsettling presence. As an action, you can unsettle creatures you can see within 15 feet of you. The target has a disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes within the next minute. Constructs, undead, and creatures that can't be frightened are immune to this feature. Once you use this feature, you can use it again until you finish a long rest. So, let's read the hollowed one here. The eastern coast of Zoris, known as Chiron, as Blightshore, is the land scarred with evil magic. Among the creations of foul place are the hollowed ones, being those whose souls have left for the afterlife, yet whose bodies still retain a fragment of their former selves. The magic that sustains hollow ones is a mystery. Most hollow ones are reborn after dying in the Blightshore. Suggestions that the spell-scarred nature of the land brought them back with an unknown purpose, yet some beings find that days after they died, they awaken clutching to life, with only a terrible emptiness inside to remind them of their death. In Blightshore, hollowed ones are seen as people like any other. They seem strange, but the adventurous and hardy folk of the Blightshore are used to making allies with the strange creatures. Elsewhere, hollow ones are indistinguishable from living creatures, save for the faint stench of necromancy that lingers about them. The transition from life to becoming a hollowed one affects different people to different degrees. Some let their anger and regret consume them, Others use their second chance to become a brighter force for the world. However, the hollow ones are marked by their new existence, feeling an unease, dread, sadness cling to them like tattered rags of their past life. Now, again, we roll back to Critical Role Campaign 3. Laudna, she is a hollowed one. She died in Taldore. The Briarwoods killed her and her entire family in hunger in a tree. She returned. She is probably one of the most OP spellcasters they have in their group, with the option to turn into what was it, frightening beast, which is, I mean, think of like the ghosts from The Witcher. That's pretty much what she turns into. So, anyways, let's go back to it. So the characters who die do have an option. I'll allow one character to return as a hollowed one. If they decide not to, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll just make them, when their character, if they build a new character, they're going to come in and they're going to be one level down from where everybody else is, because I do shared XP. That way nobody's having to keep really that much track. Again, we're all new, so shared XP helps me as a DM, and it helps the players, so that if, let's say, they're like, man, I can't read my writing from last game, what's our XP? Oh, our XP is 1450, whatever. So anyways, a century before the calamity, the Archmage Vecna achieved Lictum, amassed followers and undead forces, and with them disappeared the Shadowfell, where they conquered the city of Thar Amphala and built a tower called Entropis that served as his base. From the Shadow Plane, Vecna exploited the celestial solstice, a merging of ley energies that give him the power to open portals for his forces at a whim, giving him the space to strike with precision and retreat to Amphala before retaliating forces could muster. Thus he overcame some old enemies and forced them to bend the knee, slew them, and raised them as his loyal undead. One such rival, Kos, accepted vampirism in exchange for Felty as Vecna's chief lieutenant. Vecna forged for him a relic blade with a fraction of Kosh's consciousness. In the months of terrorizing Vecna's enemies followed, he became Kos the Bloody-Handed. So there is a sword. There is a great sword that is in Vox Machina, and basically the sword lives off of blood, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger every time it consumes blood. So if it cuts something, it takes that and amplifies its strength. However, the sword was destroyed because it was taking too much out of Grog, one of the main characters, and it was consuming him in his mind to do evil things. Vecna's foes figured out how to reverse engineer the celestial solstice, just as Vecna was attempted to ascend to godhood with the ritual of the seating atop of Entropis. A holy army led by Yosvarda attacked Thar Amphala. Yosvarda climbed to Entropis and attempted to duel Vecna, but was defeated. Vecna, winded by his effort, opened up an opportunity for Kos. He attacked the Whispered One with the gifted blade, encroaching on his usurp of Lich. The ensuing battle destroyed them both. All that remained of Vecna were his left eye and left hand, and all that remained of Kos was in that blade. Vecna was later considered a lesser deity or a patron saint of dark, coveted secrets, and his belief in worship lent him to new power. He followed... and his belief of worship led him to new power. His following was scattered across Exandria, calling themselves the Remnants, who will sacrifice their lives prefacing Vecna's return through the ritual of seeding. In order to make him a passage back to the material plane, they seized the ziggurats of Laun and the goddess of knowledge, which is why, like I said before, One of the characters, he's all about knowing information and distributing information. That's his goddess, Loun. Knowledge in fierce rival of Vecna and corrupt them. Only 2 corrupted ziggurats were mentioned. This is talking about the Critical Role campaign. One of them, Smolder Crown Mountains amongst the deserts of Marquet, and the other, and another beneath Whitestone in the city founded by the Derolo family, which was Whiterun, or Whitestone, sorry. The last ziggurat is thought to be in the lands of the Wildmount, untouched and unfounded by his followers, who still actively looking so that they may bring him back. Now, these are the commandments of Vecna. Learn all you can and keep hidden that which you know. So again, one of our characters is all about learning what he can, but he doesn't keep it hidden. If it's something that's should be known, he lets it be known. If it's something that's kind of private, he'll keep it to himself until the time's ready. Express and cultivate the evil within yourself. In doing so, recognize it in others and exploit them for your own benefit. Seed the ruin of all who worship other deities until only those who kneel before Vecna remain. So that's what's going to be in the book. Basically, there's going to be a lot of gibberish. Doesn't really matter, but that is going to be what he gets from that book. So when they're on the skyship, they're going to meet a character that I brought in when I was learning to play the game, myself and another player. We sat down and we did a what are they called? Like a one-shot adventure. Super easy. And during that one-shot adventure, I made a character named the Mighty Nearsighty Min. The Mighty Nearsighty Min was a halfling. What was he? A halfling bard, I believe. I think he was a halfling bard. Anyways, the Mighty Nearsighty Min, which only 2 other players will have any clue who he is, will be making a return as the captain of the ship. So, this is that phase I was telling you about, right? So I write pretty much a rough draft, right? Which is, this part right here. I know you guys can't read that, but it makes sense to me. This is basically the travel paragraph. In that travel paragraph, I've already read it. Talks about them rolling and having these times on the ship. Well, the characters are going to ask, I know they will, hey man, what's in that book? And he's going to explain to him, hey, this has something to do with that green comet. It has to do with Vecna. So he's going to tell him basically what's what. And in that, my character, Sven, who is a rogue half-elf, he's going to bring up some things, right? He has a book called The Myths and Lores of the Wildmount. In that, he is going to have the knowledge of both First Glade and Old Haxon, which is now... there we go. Old Haxon, which is now New Haxon, by the rumors he's heard, the myths that are in this book that he has. This is also going to be, the map will also be with him, that I think I may give to the players, to be honest. I have my own copy, so I don't mind giving them a copy of this. Anyways, the whole point that is that while they're on the skyship, the night before they're set to touch down in port, Sven is going to call a little group meeting, and he's going to go over these areas, just like how I did. Verskglade, I've heard of it. A lot of travelers go there. Very few have ever returned, and they come back mangled, dismembered, with nothing to show other than I came, I saw, I got injured, I left. And he's going to talk about Old Haxon. He's going to talk about the Hollowed Ones. That kind of that's what they're going to be discussing, and he's going to tell them, be careful. What is Sven doing? He's setting up a Thieves Guild over here in Port Tamale. So that if for whatever reason they need, there's no way to get around it. They need a thief. That's where he's going to come in. And they have ways of communicating. There is a magical item. This magical item, it's basically like an earpiece. If you think about it, it's a small little like wire, copper wire that wraps around the ear. But it's solid copper wire, so it's not going to break. Now they have the option of A, giving it to the skyship captain, or B, giving it to Sven. Skyship would be ideal because that way they can fly around a little bit easier. But they can only fly to open areas. So obviously, like this area right here, this is going to be an area that they're not going to be able to land in. So they're going to have to land somewhere out here. Could they land here? Most likely. They're not going to be able to land in the mountain ranges. And they're not going to be able to make it over this range. It's just too high. Now, can they travel around the coast? Yeah, they could travel around the coast if they wanted to. But that's a whole nother type of setup. And that's on them to figure out. Oh, we can go around, you know? So yeah, it's up to them how they want to utilize that two-way radio system. And let's say Port Tamale is where the ship is, right? And they make it all the way to freaking First Glade. And they are like, fuck it, we need to get the fuck out of here. So they come out through this mountain range up here. And now they're in an opening. And they call, hey man, we need a pickup. The mighty nearsighted men will be like, okay, well, it's gonna be a couple days. Expect us to be there in about a day and a half's time travel. Good luck, my friends. Right? That's what he would be doing. Yes, I'm giving him a slightly Ukrainian Russian accent. I don't mean to, but that's just how he's gonna be, yeah. So the mighty near Spidey men again. It would be wise of them if they said, all right, we're going to the city of Ice Haven, right? Let's say Ice Haven. It'd be smart of them if they were traveling by foot for whatever reason. They say, hey, man, we'll meet you in Ice Haven. Copy that. I'll meet you over there, my friends. You can go there. Let's say they're starting here. They can make their way over there by foot, whatever. That kind of thing. So, anyways, let's get back into the story here. Once they arrive near the city, the captain will explain them to brace for a subtle landing, and the skyship will dock just... I wrote this, obviously, before I set up the map, though I can basically get rid of that line. Once they begin to depart the ship, explain to them the surroundings of Port Tamale. Page 72 of the Explorer's Guide to the Wild Mount, which is the book. And the characters will bid farewell for Sven for now, help guide them through the city to a local hostel where a halfling will be offering room and board for cheap. The rooms will consist of one dresser, a wardrobe, as well as a small chest for personal items. There are a total of 4 rooms available, although there is enough room for one cot if needed. If one wants to share rooms, if they decide to go to a different hotel and or inn, the rooms will be 3 silver a night, 8 gold, 5 silver for 30 days. 7 days will be 2 gold and 1 silver. However, at the hostel, it will be 1 silver a night, 2 gold, and 5 silver for 30 days. And 7 days will be 7 silver. So it's cheaper for them to go this route. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that's really cheap for a room. Well, you're not getting a whole lot. It's not like there's going to be food and breakfast every morning that they're putting out. The first night, they will make their way to a local tavern. They will have a show and music. If they make perception checks, they will notice a hooded figure in the corner and have a chance to talk to him at that time of their leaving. If they do not talk to the hooded figure, they will have another opportunity to make a perception check and encounter the hooded figure. If they notice him, they can ask what he's doing, in which case he will inform them that he is a druid that was sent to them about information regarding the Whispered One. He will tell them of a place within one full day's travel of walking in the nearby mountain range of the Hearthstar Peaks, and where what he can only assume are mages in dark cloth have been conjugating, as well as the local settlers have seen strange lights and sounds coming from some of the mountains. He tells the travelers that since the mysterious green comet have flown by a couple weeks' time, he has noticed more hooded figures and crime rates have begun to arise, mainly burglary and murder, and yet no local crime syndicate has claimed responsibility for these actions. He's advised the group to take haste to the mountains to find what the reasons behind some of these occurrences are, but also tells them to be careful on the journey and to be more careful of who they decide to divulge information to. The hooded character then tells him he must go and return to the shadows, where he seems to disappear. The next morning, the adventurers will take the morning to prepare their trip and discuss how they would like to travel, if they would rather walk or by horseback in one day's travel by foot and a little more than a half day's travel by horse. However, horses are not for rent, but by purchase for 20 gold apiece. They will have a lot of gold. This dungeon that they've been going through has produced close to about 400 gold and platinum. 40 pounds of platinum to be precise. Then we talk about, what I was talking about, the campgrounds. If they choose to make camp for the night, have a watch, high roll, they see nothing, low roll, 10 and under, they will. Oh god, you scared the shit out of me. If you choose to make camp for the night, have a watch, high roll, they see nothing, low roll, 10 and under, they will see a pair of yellow eyes staring at them from a bush that is disturbed, stricken with fear. The player must decide, does he alert the others or stare back at the fierce yellow tinted eyes? If the player decides to alert the group, they will spring into action and a giant wolf will jump over the campers and scurry off. The players, now thinking they're safe and trouble has been averted, they will hear the trees above them rustle. As they look up, a humanoid creature will land in between the players and arise a 6-foot werewolf. Battle will commence. The werewolf will actively use claws, but towards player, what's his name? Lawrence? I believe his name is Lawrence. Some DM I am. Let's see. Actively towards Lauren. Will attempt to bite him. If a successful bite is landed, let that player know after the battle he has been infected with lycanthropy. After the battle, if they search for the werewolf, they will see a collar wrapped around his neck, and on the collar is an inscription of old arcane no one should be able to read. But if Graf understands language, he will have to roll a DC of 20 and only will understand a few words. The wolf will only a few words. A written spell that shows a werewolf was under the commands of the master of its master in Cata Vernum. The werewolf will only have on its person tattered clothes as it turns back to a human. If the battle is appearing to end quickly, add back in the wolf. That's my little note. The moon is at the final night of fullness and gives Lawrence will to have either find a cure if bit or learn to wield his newfound transformation. But on the first next full moon, he will have a rage state, and players may be able to knock him out and save him after the end of the lunar phase. He will be able to turn into a wolf at will. So that is my first session. The cave should be about 2 sessions. We do take breaks quite frequently. So there is that. So I am going to get off right now for the time being. It's been a good hour and a half or so of stream. However, I will be returning tonight on a little bit later. Tonight I will be coming on and we will be working on the dialogue portions I'm thinking I'm going to name that dude, the guy that gets the hint or that meets them at the bar. I think we're gonna name him Geralt, and he's gonna be such a bitch of a druid. Like he's just gonna be this small, frail bitch of a character because Geralt of Rivia, he's a man's man. This dude's gonna be a little bitch. I almost planned for his getaway to just be like smokescreen, and then him like eat shit trying to run up a wall. I think that'd be a little comedic break. And then we're gonna write the dialogue for the mighty nearsighty men as they approach the ship, and we're also going to be writing the dialogue for Sven amongst his peers. So that'll be a little bit later on tonight, and then we'll probably jump into some games. My game list has, nevertheless to say, has shrunketh. It has shrunketh, my dears. There we go. Okay, so this motherfucker. When I gave my computer, he gave it. What did I just erase? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go back through that folder here in a minute. Oh shit. What did I just erase? Anyways, that's where we're at for the night, guys. I appreciate you. Really, I do. Again, I will be back on later tonight, probably within the next 10 hours or so. 10, 11 hours. We'll see how far we get with the Fallout series. All right, guys. Thank you much again for coming out. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys all in the next video. There we go. Thank you.